Well, my name is Samir Mayakar, and I'm so proud to serve as Deputy Mayor for Neighborhood and Economic Development for Mayor Lightfoot. And we have a very packed agenda today. But I have to say, to start out, what a glorious day on the West Side. This day has been, this day is overdue. It's been a long time coming, and we all know how symbolic what is happening today is for this community. And so I'm so excited to be kicking this program off. Now we're going to hear from our mayor, we're going to hear from the alderwoman, we're going to hear from city officials, from the development team, from community members. But to get us started today, we're going to hear from the woman who's helped project manage everything from when we were last here making the award of who was going to do this development to right now where we were actually breaking ground. So I'd like to bring up Shreya from Related Midwest to get us going. So please give her a warm welcome.
Thank you, Samir, and good morning. Good morning. My name is Shreya Singh, and I am Related Midwest Development Manager on the Roosevelt Kostner project. I am also a proud resident of the West Side. I love living in North Lawndale. It's a neighborhood with a strong sense of pride, of identity, of beauty, and most importantly, of community. Today, we're standing on a site with a complicated history. But this site is also a symbol of what happens when leaders and community members come together to envision a better future, and when leaders commit to investing in that future. On that point, I would like to thank the city and our community partners for making this day and this vision possible. In a few minutes, you'll learn more about what we plan to construct on this site and how we plan to generate opportunities for greater wealth building in Black and brown communities. I would like to take a moment to iterate how Related Midwest is committed to supporting Black and brown-led firms not only in construction and in design, but also in development. It's been a pleasure to work with our JV partner, 548 Enterprises, led by AJ Patton. Through our partnerships with community groups like Black Men United and New Covenant Community Development Corporation, who will own the forthcoming innovation centers, this site will be a place of learning, growth, and tremendous opportunity for the North Lawndale community. It's been an honor to see this project take shape from idea to blueprint in the Invest Southwest program. Thank you so incredibly much to everyone here who has contributed to this project. Now please join me in welcoming Alderwoman Monique Scott, whose partnerships on this project have been incredibly invaluable.
Look at this room. This is what community looks like. This is community. I stand here this morning, and of course I have a speech, but it is very astounding to see how many people are in support of this project and what was needed on this West Side. Today is a proud day for the 24th Ward in North Lawndale, a place that I have lived and loved my entire life. A lot of people like to take shots at the West Side, but they don't understand the true beauty of the West Side. And today, I don't have to defend the West Side. Instead, I bear witness to the Roosevelt and Kostner Innovation Center project. This is truly game-changing. I've lived in this community for 51 years. I know I quite don't look 51. But I have not seen anything like this. This Innovation Center project will change the face of the 24th Ward and add value, not only where we live, but how we live, which is something my parents instilled in me and my brother. Their favorite saying to us is, it's not where you're from, it's how you live. I can remember being in grade school seeing firsthand the piles of debris and still today the ugly that many have merely heard about. The civic neglect and institutional racism that allowed the dump to happen in the first place has continued long after the last truck of debris was carted away. Today, we are embarking on a change that many residents won't believe until they see it. Operation Silver Shovel. The planning for this project started in 2016 with the former Alderman Michael Scott Jr., my brother. And in December 2022, the deal was sealed by me on my watch. This project will bring 700 jobs to North Lawndale and create dedicated spaces for community groups to provide valuable service to residents. Our kids and our residents will have access to experience the richness that one of the wealthiest cities in the world has to offer. I will continue to be unapologetic about the investments needed in our ward, a ward that is in the past has been disinvested in and neglected. I am proud to say that today, the current administration heard our cry. And this is just one of several projects in the 24th Ward under the city's Invest in Southwest initiative. For example, we have Grace Manor, a 64-unit affordable housing with retail space that will break ground this spring. And then we have the Ogden Corridor, which will reimagine Ogden from Pulaski to Western. All major impacts in the 24th Ward. Over the years, we lost many residents who got tired of waiting for change in the 24th Ward. I am so happy that I stayed. I am here following the legacy of my father, the late Michael Scott Sr., who was a committed community advocate and an excellent example for my brother and I. He would say to us, if you leave like others, you are part of the solution. You're part of the problem and not the solution. And look at the solution today. I want to thank the following stakeholders. There are so many community groups here: Black Men United, NLCCC, New Covenant, CRED. Help me, guys. There's so many people in here. Wintrust. There's so many community partners in here. AJ, I thank you. Having an African-American development, 548 Development and Related Midwest, the former alderman, this would not have been done without you. The thank you and the starts with you. There are countless other community members and organizations for this support and involvement in this project. I want to thank the current administration for believing in this vision, because this wouldn't be possible without you. And without further ado, I want to welcome our mayor, Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
Thank you, everyone. So say it with me. Representation matters. It matters who is sitting at this desk, who's making the decisions, who sees people in need and answers the need of people in this city. Representation matters. I'm looking here at the many elected officials who have been with us on this journey to turn around the fortunes of the West Side. We've been unapologetic, and we will continue to be so, because I firmly believe that as the West Side goes, so goes the city of Chicago. We should not live in or tolerate a city that allows a 6-story trash dump to grow and grow and grow. And not only be a blight in the way that it looked, but a blight in the way that it's impacted the health and well-being and the outlook and the hope and opportunity of people in any community, let alone the West Side. And so I'm grateful to Michael Scott. You need to stand up, sir, and take a bow. Because this would not have happened without his tenacity. I want to say to our Congressman, Danny K. Davis, thank you, sir, for always making sure that the West Side's needs are known and met. I'm honored that our leader, Kimberly Lightfoot, is here today. Madam, take a bow. Jason Irvin, the West Side Alderman, but also importantly the chairman of the City Council Black Caucus is in the house. Now I'm going to get in trouble for what I'm going to say next, but I'm going to say it anyway. There's a lot of great parts of the city. There's a lot of great aldermen who care deeply about their wards and they care about the city writ large. But I'm going to tell you what, the West Side elected officials are so united, so focused on changing the fortunes of the residents of this community, whether it's Austin, whether it's North Lawndale, whether it's West or East Garfield Park. The West Side force of nature, of what they do, how they collaborate, it is second to none. And we are all grateful, but importantly, the residents of the West Side are the beneficiaries of that united sense of purpose among the electeds. So give them all an applause. Now, I said this before when I was here when we announced the winner of this project. As a young prosecutor in the U.S. Attorney's Office, I heard about Mount Henry. Everybody knew about it. And I marveled at the time, how is it possible that this could have been happening? And this just grew and grew and grew. And with it, the corruption that followed. Now, that's in the past, this is the present. But we need to make sure that we understand that history and why this is so incredibly important to turn around the fortunes of this community. This development will be a beacon of light for everyone on the West Side. You know, for far too long, and Alderwoman Scott said it, people left this community because they lost hope. They left this community because they got tired of waiting for things to turn. When you have this permanent construction here, showing that the needs of the West Side are being met, every day people are going to drive by and say, the seemingly impossible was actually possible. And we did it here on the West Side under the toughest circumstances. We got it done. So let me talk a little bit about the people that are here, but also what this moment means. Joining me, of course, you're going to hear from DPD Commissioner Maurice Cox. You're going to hear from, he has so many hats, but so many important roles. Pastor John Harrell. Yeah, you need a shout out for him. He deserves that. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you for what you do, particularly around Black Men United. Our young boys and girls need to see strong Black men who are getting it done. Thank you, Pastor Harrell, for everything that you're doing. 548 Capital CEO and Managing Partner, AJ Patton. AJ, where are you? We need to make sure we're going to hold you accountable, obviously, to get this done and get it on time and on budget. But I'm so proud of what you are doing, not just here, but across the city, and we're going to continue to support everything that you do. I got to give a shout out to Midwest Related. Look, there are many people who say, oh yeah, we care about diversity and inclusion. Oh yeah, we care about these folks. Kurt Bailey, Don, the work that you are doing and the way that you are doing it, and making sure that you live your values in concrete, tangible ways, you have a track record that few others can even come close to. So thank you so much for your commitment, but importantly, the work. Thank you, Don. And I also have to give a shout out to Rodney Brown, our Invest Southwest corridor manager here on the West Side. Thank all of you for putting your vision and hard work into this transformative project. Let me also give a shout out to our talent today, Chicago's own Bianca Shaw. Thank you so much for bringing it today. And folks, North Lawndale has sit-down restaurants. Have you heard about that? Have you heard about that? Serving us today is Beloved Cafe and Trini's Tasty Pastries, who are also here. This Invest Southwest groundbreaking marks an exciting development for this community and really, really surreal but important for North Lawndale and the entire West Side. We're standing on the former notorious illegal dump that you've heard about, and we have much to be proud of by putting those dark days behind us. So where this project symbolizes what Invest Southwest is really all about: reclaiming our troubled history and transforming it to serve and uplift our neighborhoods. The city was proud to support this project with an $8 million TIF assistance, as well as the sale of 21 acres of city-owned lot for $1. We put our money where our mouth is to transform neighborhoods. And I'm grateful to all the community partners who are here and have joined us along the way to make this moment possible. We're constructing 4 new facilities across these 21 acres that will strengthen both North Lawndale and the economy of our city. And let me tell you a little bit why. First, the industrial complex will both leverage and enhance the strengths of Chicago's local freight and logistics sector, to which we are second to none in the country. As the nation's crossroads, our city's TD&L sector is one of the largest in the country and a significant pillar of our economy. Additionally, Chicago is home to more industrial space than the next leading market, with 1.2 billion square feet of industrial space across our city. The industrial real estate boom is really being led by Chicago, and it is doing quite well, and this development will continue to further that effort. And I hate to break it to you, but the next leading market, remember I said 1.2 billion square feet here, the next leading market is only 300,000 square feet. So that tells you the strength of this market in our economy. And on that point, let me also boast that in 2022, Chicago was the nation's leading best in industrial real estate transactions. We're on the right path here in North Lawndale. So in other words, we decreased vacancies among industrial spaces by 4.1% while delivering 26.6 million square feet of industrial space. And this year we expect to build on that success, and that our TD&L markets will continue to grow and grow and grow. And in simple terms, folks, that's jobs, jobs, jobs. At the industrial complex here, residents of North Lawndale and West Side will be able to enter into this thriving sector and access its lucrative freight and logistic job opportunities. Yesterday, we made an announcement talking about the city is going to break down barriers to bring returning residents home with city jobs. And of course, we challenge the private sector to follow our lead. But what's important to know is one of the jobs that is absolutely available to people coming home from incarceration is driving trucks. See, truck drivers, commercial licenses. This facility will help facilitate other opportunities for returning residents, many of whom live in North Lawndale, to get good paying jobs. I want to make sure that we don't miss that point either.
Right on.
This Innovation Center will also offer spaces for neighborhoods to host community meetings and events. Also, another important anchor for the community. Neighbors can also gather outside at the new 1-acre public park that can support activities like farmers markets, food truck fests, and pop-up stands. So we want this whole site to be transformed, not only for commercial development, but to be an asset for the community to be able to use it and thrive and grow and build stronger relationships and partnerships. What makes the park unique is a landscaping plan by Site Design Group, which reintroduces native biodiversity through the replanting of historic ground species, breathing life, greenery, and beauty into this site. We're reclaiming it for the people of North Lawndale. And finally, not only is this development empowering residents with new opportunities, but this site is literally powering residents. The industrial buildings will have a 3-megawatt rooftop community solar system. that will power approximately 500 West Side homes. In any new development, we have an opportunity to build and a responsibility to build sustainably. This development goes above and beyond that commitment. So I want to thank 548 Development and Related Midwest for being eco-conscious in their efforts to revitalize this community. Think about that. This site that was a cause of so much harm, so much health harm, is now going to be reclaimed, and it's going to be regenerating power for people in this community and green spaces to right the historic wrong on this site. So I'm extraordinarily excited about what this means. And folks, let me just say in my closing remarks this. Invest Southwest is critically important to the future of our city. We have starved our neighborhoods for far too long. And like the Alderwoman, I am unapologetic about making sure that we spur economic development in Black and brown neighborhoods that have not gotten their fair share ever before. Ever before. And there's some who will say, oh, this is just warmed over hash from the previous administration. There's nothing new here to see. Well, tell that to the people in this room. Yeah. Tell that to the people in rooms gathered all over the city. Tell that to the developers who are getting the kind of opportunities not to be a second or third tier sub, not to be a joint venture partner that really is not about partnership. But we are doing things to make sure that we're setting up Black and brown developers, construction companies, landscape architects, making sure that they are leading and controlling their own destiny. That's about building wealth. That's about regenerating that wealth and making sure that the people that are getting these developments see themselves in the present and in the future. So we don't have to apologize for that. We will never apologize for that. And in fact, we're going to continue on and build on this success. So spread the word, folks. More good news coming to communities about North Lawndale because of the work that we have done in partnership with the people who are here, the people who have held on, the people who have recognized the beauty in this community and the power of coming together and being united. So thank you, one and all, and more to come. Next up, Maurice Cox, our Commissioner of Planning and Development.
All right. Whoa, look at all these folks here. This is awesome. Good morning. Good morning. What do they say about the West Side? It's the best side, so thank you all, thank you all. And in Best Southwest, we only do the best. So the best people, the best jobs, the best design. It is just wonderful to be in North Lawndale again to celebrate another groundbreaking. There are a lot of folks to thank. I have to start with our Deputy Mayor, Samir Mayakar, who is a force of nature and is a champion for the West and South Side. So thank you, Samir. To Alderwoman Scott, it has been amazing to watch the Scott family. I mean, you are a testament to public service and brilliance that obviously runs in the Scott's family. Just thank you for picking up the baton from the aldermen and taking us across the finish line. Thank you so much. Cherie Singh, thanks to Related, they put women in positions of power, and she is leading in this sector, so just thank you for bringing that innovation to this new expanded development opportunity for Related Midwest. And Mayor Lightfoot, again, for your belief that all neighborhoods have a future, but very specifically the West Side has a very, very bright future in investments like this. So this is a very, very big deal. Very big deal. We are talking about a site that is arguably the largest site yet to be developed for the West Side. This is 21 acres. It's also the largest project in terms of economic impact in the entire Invest Southwest portfolio. $68 million are going into this site. $68 million. So it's going to have an amazing impact on North Lawndale. And I think you'll see some of the reasons why. I mean, just if you look at the folks in this room, you look at the Black Men's United, and know that this site is being reclaimed by them. I don't know if you noticed the building here, but the big logo of Black Men's United, doesn't that make you feel incredibly proud? Incredibly proud. And then on the other side, the New Covenant CDC will have their headquarters, and businesses will emerge from this site because of their contribution. An amazing piece to this site. So there were a few things that we were hoping this site would do when we announced this last January, that it would be the nexus of innovation. So it's not just a transit distribution and logistics center, but we wanted to take that industry and bring it into the 21st century, make it green and make it clean. And to do that, we have brought in 548 Development, who has an amazing sustainability agenda. So as the mayor said, this will be a net exporter of energy. Hundreds of houses in North Lawndale will be powered by this site. That's an amazing accomplishment, amazing accomplishment. So thank you for that. Another thing we wanted to do is we wanted to make sure that this site gave back to the community in which it is housed, and in very, very tangible ways. So yes, energy exports, but also the 1 acre park, what it means to be able to have your distribution, your gatherings in a park and not in a parking lot. Very big deal, very big deal. A quality of space, giving that back to residents, as well as this will help anchor what will be a greenway along the Aldenheim line. So a park space will be developed along that to jumpstart the Aldenheim line as well. The other aspect that I'm proud of is the idea that, you know, the logistics, transport, and distribution is a lot of science, but we're trying to bring the art back to this. So the walls of the building will be muraled by one of Chicago's fine mural artists. So that is another amazing accomplishment that we've been able to do here. Is the artist here today? There you go. Raise your hand. All right. Beautiful, beautiful work. And then at the center of it are jobs. Quality jobs for hundreds of North Lawndale residents. And these are jobs that you will be able to walk to, be able to get to work in 10, 15, 20 minutes. That's a big deal for folks who have not been able to have jobs planted in the communities in which they live. So this is a wealth creation exercise for us, and an important one, not just for the folks who will work here, but for the entrepreneurs who will dream up new businesses in the Innovation Center. So this is working on a whole lot of fronts, and I would say that it could not have been done without the process, the very process of engagement that we mounted. This was one of the most competitive requests for proposal sites in the entire Invest Southwest portfolio. So those who say, well, you know, nobody wants to develop on the West Side, well, we had 6 teams fighting to develop on this site, and I think the best project won. So, that team was led by Related Midwest and 548. And I will say, you know, the mayor touched on this. Related Midwest is really in a class of their own. They are industry leaders in whatever they touch. They innovate, they bring diversity, they put women in positions of power, they seek out new entrepreneurs that they can mentor. And so it is, AJ is not the exception for that type of joint venture with Related Midwest quickly becoming the rule. They are always innovating. So we just thank you all for bringing that level of commitment to the work you do. And then I'm going to introduce AJ, who is another force of nature. He has built an amazing development company over the past 3-4 years. All we did was have to represent the opportunity, and he rushed in and has built now, I think, a company that is going to be known for its ability to bring sustainability to Black and brown communities, and this site is a demonstration of that commitment. So AJ, come to the podium and tell us a little bit more about the project.
Good morning. Somehow I am following a fired up mayor and somehow in front of Pastor Harrell, so this will be the least memorable speech I ever give. So good morning. As mentioned, I'm AJ Patton, founder of 548 Development, part of the 548 Enterprise. I'm representing the development group. We're in a joint venture with Related Midwest, so welcome to the site. I want to start in the most appropriate place, which is thanking Carla Coupe and Shreya, because they were the people who introduced Related Midwest in 548. And I've said it once before, but we've got to say their names, and I just want to express gratitude for serving as the bridge and making that introduction and really sparking this relationship. So thank you. This is really 4 events in one. And so this is part of the reason why there's a capacity crowd here, is that we're really celebrating 4 different developments at the same time. We've got the industrial real estate, which will create so many jobs. We've got New Covenant getting their new headquarters with Ronnie Brown. We've got Black Men United getting their new headquarters. We're also building one of the largest community solar developments in the city's history. And so this is kind of 4 celebrations in one. We might need to triple the tent next time, Samir. But it's a big moment here. And so tons of people to thank that we've already thought, but it can't go without saying Alderman Monique Scott, you're doing a great job. Congratulations. I would be remiss not to mention her brother Michael, who for some reason people keep mixing him and I up. But we never checked his jump shot, so we need to see how close we are. But want to acknowledge Monique in the Scott family. They're 4 generations deep now of community leadership, and so that is very, very impressive, and we're grateful. In the entire coalition. So when Related and I and our team joint ventured, we talked about doing this as a coalition. And so there are tons of folks that had to be in the conversation in order for us to get this across the finish line. I just want to mention just a handful of them. I saw Charles Smith around. I want to thank Charles Smith in his leadership. I saw Leslie Roth on the design side. And just part of what we talked about was representation and equity in every line item, not just construction, professional services, design, engineering, every single line. And we have Related in 548, have mission alignment there, so it's very easy for us to accomplish that. So when you call Charles and say, hey, we need representation on insurance, and Leslie Roth on design, and I saw Kelsey Taylor here, who's going to be the civil engineer, Carla Coupe, who's going to be on the legal team, and I saw the institution that is Graham Grady is here, who did the zoning. They all did a great job. And as Commissioner Cox referenced, Related has a track record of this at this point. It started with construction. It's gone down to many of the other line items. We're proud of the partnership that we'll announce on the construction side. I saw My good brother Cornelius Griggs somewhere with a really nice suit as usual. Cornelius is going to be a part of the construction team, and we're really, really proud of what that represents at every single line item. This isn't a percentage goal. This is how we involve and engage and empower. Thank you. Thank you. To relate it, a lot has been said about them. It's really hard to put into context because they're genuinely in a class of their own. No one else is doing and seeding this type of partnership, and so I cannot put into words. And Don, Ann, and Kurt, this is a genuine partnership. We are peers in every sense. They're a multi-billion-dollar firm. We're still emerging in many senses, and they treat us as equals and as peers, and we've got a real friendship and bond, and I'm grateful. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But that does not happen in a vacuum. That happens when you've got real leadership in City Hall, creating platforms and advocating and saying, hey, you want our resources, show us a partnership that looks like the neighborhood you want to develop in. And I tend to get passionate anytime I start talking about this mayor because she's blazed a trail that is different than anyone in our past. And, she embodies, frankly, our city in the sense that there's a tendency, particularly, those of us from the West Side and have West Side ties, they tend to be very loud when they talk about when our neighborhood has turbulence, and they whisper our accomplishments and our milestones, and that is what's happened with our mayor. And so I am very grateful to see a handful of these cameras show up when we come to celebrate such a big moment. And so I just want to thank the mayor for creating the space for this to happen. Thank you. And I'll close with this. So I would like to inject just a little bit of humanity in this moment, and I mean it this way. Oftentimes in these developments, you have, these are seen as kind of numbers on the board for the development team and a pro forma. They're also kind of marked as political wins for our political leaders at times that maybe have to curry some favor at times. And I don't want it just to be viewed that way, because what's going to happen when this tent goes down is real jobs are going to be created. New Covenant and what Rodney Brown and them are going to do is build wealth in these black businesses. That's real lives change. What Black Men United are going to do, I've seen them and stood next to them. I'm a member. I've stood out there in 10-degree weather and watched them feed women and children in 10-degree weather. They needed this infrastructure here. Real lives. Real lives are going to change. We have created our program starts March 20 in partnership with many of you to teach people from the West Side how to install solar systems. And at the end of that program, there'll be local residents that install solar on the roof of this industrial development. That is an entry point into the middle class. That's not a byline, that's not a throwaway moment. Those are real lives being changed here. And I just don't want this to be just a groundbreaking ceremony, but for us to be grounded that this is a moment, an inflection point in this community's trajectory. And so thank you so much for all these people here participating and supporting and encouraging, because this is a great moment. I just want to embody everything that we're here, and I'm so grateful. So thank you guys for coming, and I look forward to hearing more. Mr. Rodney Brown's going to speak about New Covenant. Thank you.
Talk about coming behind powerhouses. Wow, you should see the view from here. It's amazing. As AJ mentioned, my name is Rodney Brown. I am the CEO of New Covenant CDC, located here in North Lawndale. And I want to thank you all for joining us today as we begin our next step in our journey to supporting and rebuilding economic development here in North Lawndale. I want to thank Mayor Lightfoot, Commissioner Cox, Deputy Mayor Samir, for the initiative of Invest Southwest. It's been said before, and I've said it before, and I'll say it here again. There has been no other mayor in my lifetime that has focused on the west and south sides like she has. Alderwoman Scott, you've been fantastic. I give your brother some credit. You've been a great major benefit for us as well. I want to thank Commissioner Dennis Deere, State Rep Collins, and Congressman Davis. You have been great supporters of New Covenant and the clients that we support here in North Lawndale, our business owners. I want to thank the board of New Covenant. They've been with me every step of the way. I can call them, ask them for advice, day or night, they're going to be there for me. I want to thank my team, who without their support, we couldn't get this work done. And last but not least, I want to thank my wife, Deborah, because on my most challenging days, I know that she's going to be there for me. So thank you. This is Black History Month. In our building, we're going to be celebrating and creating Black history every month. We're going to be working with future history makers, helping them to understand how to create businesses that become legacy businesses. We're going to talk about succession planning. We're going to talk about how we take young entrepreneurs, train them up, get them creditworthy, get them bankable, so Anthony Scott and Winters Bank can loan them money to buy businesses that are in existence already and bring other businesses to the community. We're looking at determining how do we change this community. Our businesses will be owned by local residents, owned by people who understand what it takes to be in business here, staffed by local residents, and supported by local residents. When we had this announcement a little bit over a year ago about the award for this location here, I made the comment that the first 6 Black millionaires in this country were former slaves. And I thought to myself, if they can do it, so can all the people we work with and are going to be worked with. They too can become millionaires. And we have in here today a prime example of that. Ida Nelson, are you in the room, Ida? Raise, stand up, Ida. Ida Nelson came to us a couple years ago. You could say she sells ice cream. She would tell you she sells the best ice cream. When she came to us, she was selling out of her home. Last year, we got Ida to 2 major festivals here in the Chicagoland area. She saw a significant increase in revenue. In 2023, between 24, she's going to be involved in anywhere between 250 and 300 festivals. That is going to be game changer. And I tell people all the time, if you have not tasted her ice cream, your life isn't complete yet. Make sure you get some of her ice cream. My point is, that's going to be another millionaire coming out of our building. That's tangible evidence of what we're going to be doing here in this community. And what we're looking for here is to demonstrate how small business can be part of the change as it relates to contributing to the rebuilding of a community like North Lawndale. And so Ida will be one of the things that we're looking to get that done. So we're looking at this as a moment of time that will signal the tide that begins to visibly change in our direction. Being the corridor manager, we want to bring businesses to all of our corridors in North Lawndale, because we understand that's what it's going to take as we continue to improve the housing stock, as we continue to improve the school system, as we look at improving arts and culture, we look to include our parks. We're looking at determining how do we make sure small business plays a role in that. So I want to thank all of you for being part of this process and being here. But what we're looking at also is how do we also impact our youth? They're our future. At New Covenant, we're going to put together training programs to help young people understand how to start and grow businesses as well. I don't know about you, but my very first job was with a local small business owner. Local business owners connected to the community will hire our young people. They will help us to make that difference. Now, before I go to my seat and my new neighbor, who is probably going to blast me out of the water with this presentation, Pastor Harrell, I want to just close with this one comment. I once had a mentor say to me, he asked me the question, Rodney, what is the value of a good idea? Wanting to impress my boss, I said, hey, good idea's worth $1 million. Shook his head. He said, I got questions about your future. The answer to that question is, the value of a good idea is $1. The execution of the idea is $1 million. That's what we're talking about here right now. You're seeing the execution of a good idea that's going to transform into something tangible for people that makes a real difference. So then, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Listen, to God be the glory, for he has done some wonderful and marvelous things for us all. I want to say thank you to Commissioner Cox, to Samir, and certainly to our great mayor. I want to say thank you to, I have the pleasure of serving as pastor of 2 churches. And in the Proviso Township area in Maywood, I succeeded a former Black Panther and trailblazer by the name of Bishop Porter. And out there we have some allegiance and some alliances with some people that make us who we are as Black Men United. And certainly I want to say thank you to the mayor of Bellwood, who is my big brother. I've been knowing some 30 years. To my super sister, Mayor Katrina Thompson in Broadview, Illinois, I want to say thank you so much. All of those trucks that you see coming in the city of Chicago all came from Maywood. And they allowed me to park those trucks illegally because they knew that we were doing such a great job. But then I want to say thank you so much to our Senate Majority Leader, Kimberly Lightfoot, because I call her on a cell phone night after night, sometimes 1 o'clock in the morning, because all I'm trying to do is help people. It's real simple. Black Men United, all we're trying to do is paint a different picture, tell a different story, and share a different narrative about Black men in America that's positive, productive, and progressive, while building bridges and not walls. And so Sharia asked me a question. She said, Pastor, when that building go up, what do you see? I said, I see the United Nations of not-for-profits. Yes. We sent 19 trucks to Ukraine. We sent trucks to China. We're getting ready to send some stuff to Syria and Turkey because we are our brother's keeper. Yes. Listen, we are our brother's keeper. And how do we do all of this? In 2007, right here on this lot, I got with a guy who believed in me named Michael Scott Sr. I was serving as the youth pastor at Holy Starlight under another trailblazer by the name of C.E. Robinson. And I told him, I said, man, we need to bring some hope to that community. And so we came and brought what's called the Convoy of Hope. I went and saw Don Bernanke. 2007, Mark Carter introduced me to him, y'all. That's the best thing he ever did for me. Don Bernanke gave us a donation so that we can bring those tractor trailers in and be a blessing to the community. Sean Hardin, who was at the mayor's office, began to lend all of the city resources so that we can move all of the mess and the dirt that was on this land so that we can serve 9,700 people. The seed was planted for Black Men United because it was back then, that we began to just share, show, and shower our brothers and sisters with love. And I want to thank the Tate brothers because they support us, they're our board members, and every time they go online, over 300,000 people begin to follow us. I want to thank our other board member. I know he don't like Chicago, I know it's real cold for him, coming all the way from the South. I want to say thank you to Jay Prince for his support, and every time he go online, we get 300,000 followers. And then Kevin Garnett, NBA Hall of Famer, who was supposed to go to Marshall High School, but on his way to Marshall High School, his car broke down at Farragut. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. And so I want to say thank you to Alderman Monique Scott for believing in us the way that she does, and then certainly to her brother, Michael Scott, who was a better alderman than he ever was a basketball player. Somehow, some way, he thought basketball and football was the same sport. And so, my brothers and sisters, certainly I want to say thank you to my wife. My wife, who I've been dragging around for a long time. She never ever complains. She just goes and allows me to go into our bank and to do various things to pour into our own vision. And so it's real simple. My brothers and sisters, we have a world-class city that is represented by a world-class mayor. Because one thing nobody ever says is that her and her administration did all of this wonderful stuff in the midst of a pandemic. And so she deserves to continue the good work. It's a world-class city, a world-class mayor, world-class representation, and we are a world-class organization. Black Men United, my brothers and sisters. In the words of Michael Buffer, we've been fighting all of our lives, and we thank our mayor for fighting for us. But as he would say, let's get ready to rumble! We're going to ask if everybody would just stay in your seats. We're going to move these shovels right here. Hey, man, Samir, I'm going to turn it over to you. He told me to say that, y'all. I know y'all say he awful bossy.